So I finally met a guy named Steven Saljo. I called him on the phone after about 2 weeks of just hunting down recruiters. And he was a Navy reservist recruiter. So I called him up. I said, hey, I want to be a Navy SEAL. He was busy. So he didn't know how big I was. He didn't know anything about me pretty much. So I came in, and he was the first recruiter that looked at me and was like, you know, he saw how big I was, but he gave me a shot.
Okay.
And I was just looking for a shot. So it kind of went from there. He went through all different, manuals. And to make a long story short, I had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months. And that's where it became challenging for me.
So how did you go about losing that weight in 3 months? Like what was your training/dieting plan at that point?
Well, there wasn't much of a diet, pretty much. It was like pretty much don't eat. And what I did was I wake up in the morning time, I have a banana. So I knew to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months, you're looking at 3,500 calories is a pound. So I was basically doing a whole bunch of math in my head. So I knew if I were to stop and be stagnant, there was no calories being burned. So my mind became very obsessed. So if I like right now, I couldn't have this interview. I'd have to do it while riding a bike. So to watch TV, I rode a bike. Because, weighing 300 pounds, you can't go out and start running because your legs hurt real bad. So for the first 50 days, I rode a bike a lot. I went to the swimming pool a lot. I did high repetitions. So people go, why don't I have like a lot of fat, like excess skin on my body?
Yeah.
I developed a certain routine that my skin got, extremely tight. So I would do 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 reps on one exercise at a time. So I would go to the gym. I would see a weight I could do for let's say it was like 60 pounds on the bar. So the bar is 45, and I put maybe 10 pounds on each side, and I would rep that out for 100 times. And I'd do a few sets of that. And that's how I would train. So I just basically trained all day long. So that's how it went. And before I knew it, I lost the weight.
So what was the reaction of the recruiter when you walked back into the office? Or I'm assuming you saw him over time. So what was his reaction to all seeing you lose that weight?
Well, they didn't believe I was going to do it.
Yeah.
So I would call him up at 11 o'clock at night just to give him details. Hey, man, I just got done running. And he was like, okay, that's great, I would call him all through the week at all hours of the night, all hours of the day. And he was like, okay, next thing he knew, I was 106 pounds lighter. And he was like, I can't believe what you just did. So it was a long process. I'm cutting 3 months down into a quick segment, but yeah, it was a long process. But when you lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months, you're not in the best shape of your life. You got a lot of cardio in, but you're just not in great shape. So my first place in the Navy was buds. So, my first indoctrination to the real Navy was buds.